I should turn up. Look better. Oh, y'all are so cute. Boop. Yes, I like to do the boops on my pup's nose. Some pups don't like it, but my pup likes to get his nose booped. And I do it gently. I do boop. Yeah, I still have to pluck these little hairs. If you know, you know. Women get little sparse hairs when they get a certain age that just mine's come around under my chin and jawline, little dark hairs, and I just have to pluck them out one by one. So that's why I keep doing this because I keep feeling them and it's driving me mad. So I'm like, I can't wait to pluck these. And then the what's it, derma blading or something? I would like to do that too on my face as well because I heard that your skincare um does better for you when you do that, like get all the hair off your face. So, and I guess if you know if you like to wear makeup, it may go on better as well. So, I would like to do that. Yeah, that's why I keep doing this. And today it's gonna be 90 degrees. I went out there to take one of the pups out to potty, and it was already quite toasty out there. So I was like, oof. But yeah, definitely staying hydrated, sunscreen, drinking water, all that. And then when it's really hot, I don't really like eating heavy. Like I like to eat, fruits, a lot of good salads and stuff like that. But I can't really eat heavy, like a big thing of pasta and all that. Like weighs me down, and then you're already hot. So that's what I like to do. Hello, it's two people. Hello. Um, I'm just talking about the weather right now. It's super hot out. And I was just saying that I don't like to eat heavy when it's super hot out. I like to, eat light meals and things like that because I feel better. But I was just, as far as the topic, millennial nostalgia, um, just talking about the 90s and the early Y2K era was such a time. Like, I felt like the snacks, the fast food tastes better. I know it's not good for you, but I felt like it tasted better. The shows, the music, definitely, movies, um, the air, the games, the board games, the video games, the books, like just was a vibe. And I missed that. So I had a question. I was like, if you could go back and if someone gave you opportunity to go back in time, if you grew up during the era, the early 90s, the 90s and Y2K, if someone gave you the opportunity to go back to that era, would you do it? Because I certainly would. Like, I miss that. And then, of course, the fashion, which, I think a lot of people, especially as millennials, are really reminiscing about that. I've seen a lot of channels, um, millennials talking about millennial nostalgia, things like that from our childhood, like the toys and everything. But, the fashion has made its way back. Um, like Gen Z and Alpha like wearing stuff from the early Y2K era. Um, so that's why I say too, like fashion, it never goes out of style. It always is recycled. So it's like certain things now that they're like, oh, this is in. It's like I had that years ago, and I was like, I should have kept that in my closet. But you wear your style, you wear what you want to wear. I wouldn't listen to people if they say, "Oh, that's out of style, that's not style," because it's going to supposedly be back in style. But in my opinion, nothing ever really goes out of style. But yeah, a lot of the early Y2K aesthetic is back in now. Um, and I'm happy because, like I said, I missed that time. Because I'm just like, this ain't it. I really wish I could go back in time. Um, like I remember as a child, like the old school Toonami lineup, Adult Swim, just was a time. And thanks to whoever thumbs up the video, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, it was a time. It was a vibe. I really missed that. So if there's any millennials in the chat, like please let me know. The question that I have is if you were able to go back in time to relive, especially if you're a 90s kid, the 90s and early 2000s, would you go back? Please let me know. Because, like I said, like the video games too, like I don't really play games anymore. I watch like the gameplay like on YouTube and stuff, like YouTubers that are that have gaming channels, but I really don't play games no more like that. Um, I feel like the games back then were better, like the storylines and the characters were memorable and developed and all that. Just was fun. Like I remember playing like the first Tomb Raider, like the Game Pro magazines. I remember all that, and they used to have the demo disc. I remember playing the very first Silent Hill on the demo disc, and me and my siblings, we were so scared. Like, oh my god, this is scary! Like, I remember all that. Rival schools, like the fighting games, I feel were so much fun back then. Um, like all the Tekken games, the older Tekken games were so much fun. Like it was just a vibe. That's all I have to say. Like Blockbuster, like every Friday, we would that was like our treat. Go to Blockbuster and get some fast food. Pick out some movies in a game. It was so much fun. It was simpler. Life was simple, but it was fun. And we didn't have all this social media like the internet. Always had some things on there that was not appropriate. But I feel like back then the internet was it did have filters back then versus now, like social media. It's like social media, I feel like don't have no filters. Like some of the stuff you may come across and you didn't even ask to see this stuff. But the internet back then, um like the search engines, Lycos and Axe Jeeves. If anyone remembers Axe Jeeves and Lycos and I think Dogpile, um, it was fun. Like the little paper doll dress up games, the little flash games. It was so fun. So I'm just ranting and raving, and I appreciate to y'all who are coming in just listening to me rant. Just rant on about my childhood. But it was really fun. And then, like I said, the TV shows like Goosebumps, the Goosebump books, Fear Street books. It was such a vibe. It really was. I feel sorry for the kids today growing up because it's like, I don't know. I just feel like their childhood, like, it just does not compare to like what nineties kids, how we grew up. And we also played outside as well. It was a balance, ride our bikes, we rollerbladed, um, going to the park, going to the library, making a trip to the library. It was just a vibe. It was just so much fun, because my mom, she made sure like we would have our video game time, but she would have a timer. She'd be like, all right, y'all need to go outside and play. So we would go outside and play. She wanted us to be active. We were. The park, we would always make trips to the park. It just, it just was a vibe. I just have to say, you just had to be there. Hi, Vanstown. I am just this this auntie myself. I'm just ranting about my childhood, just reminiscing about the 90s and early Y2K because it was such a fun time. But yeah, I just was saying you had to be there. I remember elementary school, they used to have like the bookets, I think they would call, but you would have to read a certain amount of books, and then your teacher would sign off for it, and they would give you a ticket to that you could take to any like Pizza Hut, and you would get like a free little small personal pan pizza. And I'm telling you, Pizza Hut back then, in the '90s, it was so good. Them little personal pan pizzas were delicious. I used to get so happy, and in the book fairs, like we used to have book fairs. Um, it was a time. They still do that? Okay. Wow. I didn't know. But yeah, it was a time. It really was. Um, then we used to have back then in elementary school, we used to have like the computer time, and the computers back then. Okay, I didn't know they still did that. Well, that's cool. But when I was in elementary school, we had like the big clunky computers. So we would have computer time, and it was like a program we would do. I can't. It was like a little turtle. I forgot what his name was, but you would have to direct him on how to move. Hi, icon, iconography. Hello. I'm sorry for butchering your name, but thank you for coming in. I was just ranting about millennial stuff, like just reminiscing. I was talking about there's a lot of content creators that are millennials doing the same thing. Like the food back then, like the snacks. I don't know if anybody remembers those Sobe drinks, and it had like a lizard on the artwork, and it had like the little red beads in the drink. It was really really good. I'm like, they should bring that back. And then there was a thing called Alien Pops and Egg Pops, lollipops. They were so good. Oh my gosh, like they were so good. Yeah, but I appreciate everyone that came in and listened to me, rant and rave. I appreciate it. Okay, they still do that in your school. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that because I heard that kids today, and anyone can correct me, younger, anyone that's in there is much younger than me, but I heard they don't even know how to they don't teach cursive anymore. And I was like, what? They don't teach cursive? They don't know how to write in cursive? That's insane. Because I learned to write in cursive when I was in third grade, I believe. In third grade, I learned how to write in cursive. So I was just like, what? They stopped teaching how to write in cursive? Because I imagine now everything is like with computers now, they probably don't even use paper or anything. They still do cursive? Really? Because some parent had told me that they stopped teaching cursive. And my sister, she was telling me my sister's a millennial as well, and at her job, a lot of well, they feel, I say kids because we're much older than, but they're like in their early 20s, and documents and and forms where it says signature. She said a lot of them are just printing their names. They're not even using cursive to write, to signature their names. So I was like, what? So that's why I asked if is it true they stopped teaching cursive, because she said a lot of people in their early 20s, like for documents, they're not even using signatures for their names. They're just printing it out. So, okay. Because to write in cursive, in my opinion, is important. When I did computer, I did. Okay. All right. Because that's what I heard, that they stopped teaching cursive. Because I learned that in middle school. Not middle school, excuse me, third grade. Yup. Yeah, and then just the music too was a vibe. Like I said, growing up, I don't know a lot. And it's no offense to like the younger generation, but it's just like this music today. I'm just like, what the heck is this? So it's like now, I feel like my parents, how they listen to the music they grew up on. That's mostly what I do. My sister and I listen to music that we grew up on, because a lot of this music that's out now, it's just like it's just garbage. I feel like I turned into my parents now that I'm middle aged. But yeah, I just be reminiscing about those times. Because like going to the movies was so much fun back then. That was like the thing to do, which I know the movies are still open, but it's like now everyone streams. And I'm not gonna lie, it's like the fun of going to a theater I feel like is gone now. So I mostly just stream. But back then, like every weekend or every other weekend, or at least one weekend out of the month, we were at the theaters. But yeah, I appreciate you guys that came in to just listen to me just ramble on about my childhood because I miss it. I really do. Just a fun time growing up back then. I miss it. But I guess that I will end this live. I appreciate you guys. And y'all have a blessed day.